Okay, so I was thinking about my video earlier, what I was saying about, and there's I don't even know where it is. Maybe it's in Ezekiel or something, but there's a verse where God tells one of the prophets, I don't remember which one, but it's in the Bible. He tells them, you dwell in the midst of a people that have eyes but do not see, and have ears but do not hear, because they're a rebellious house. And why would I expect that to not be true? Why would I expect to understand some of the things that are happening in our world in a strangely different way than all these other people? And I know all these other people love the Lord, and I know that they cherish the scriptures, and I don't understand. I think it's that they're a rebellious house, and that they don't, I'm not saying they're not believers or something. I'm not trying to judge someone or something, but I can see it. There's an element of unbelief that's happening, and I'm just trying to, okay, here's the unbelief, and okay, it does have to do with the bottomless pit, because if the prophets in the scriptures reveal to us in this time that, wow, we were really mistaken about where the bottomless pit is and what it is, and how everything about it has become what this world thinks is their future. This world loves it. Space exploration, that's our future. Technology, and we're going to Mars. We're going to spread out into the universe or the solar system, and maybe even to other star systems. Okay. That's a belief that this world has. But it's untrue. They're believing in something false. And that's not unbelief, that's belief. They believe in this solar system, and they believe that this darkness is their future. And what's crazy about that is that it is their future. They don't comprehend the light. They don't comprehend the truth. And so they're going to reject it, and they're going to now that's like the globe. The solar system is the globe, because the globe has to orbit the sun. The globe has to rotate. That's not truth. The scriptures say that the earth is stationary, and the scriptures say that the stars are sentient beings. They're angelic hosts. They're angels in the sky, and God's named them all, and they obey him and his law on their courses without fail. But one of them, being Mars, one of 7 of them, it's the closest one. So that's where people think they're going. When Mars isn't a place, it's a spirit. It's a sentient being, an angelic angel. But it's not a good angel. It's deceiving. Do you know that angels can assume the form of man? You could entertain angels and not even know it. Angels also can take any form that they want to take. So if they had it in their interest to be freed from a prison that they're in there is a way that mankind could assist them in their endeavor to have freedom. And that's what's happening right now. NASA's not lying. They're entertaining angels. But the angels are deceitful angels, and they're deceiving the people that work at NASA, and they're deceiving the people that build the SLS and Artemis and all that. They're deceiving them because the angels are saying, come to us. Come to us. Look at, we're spheres, we're planets, we're places. But they're not places, they're lights that appear to be places. They take that form. Now, I don't know if it's literal, like actual form that they take. I don't think it is, because it's to defile man. It's to get our hearts, to get our beliefs to be where I see the world's beliefs at right now. They think they're on a globe. That isn't where we live. Not the real one. But so if you're thinking that, let's go down to the earth, let's go really teeny down to the earth. Now we're back down on the earth. And I'm Joe, and I'm making a video. I'm Joe, and there is all these people around me that are just like me, but they all want to do something different than me. I'm going to go outside so I can... Ooh, it's warm out here. So let's go down to the teeny little world we live in, and down to our teeny little selves, and bicker between each other and say, you're lying to everybody. You're lying to everybody. No, you're lying to everybody. And you're hiding the shape of the earth. You're lying, and you're saying that space is real, and you're putting on a show and faking it all. Okay, that's down in that little world where we live. There's a whole world above it that's looking down and going, that's what we are trying to do. That's why this is the end of the world. That's why the sky's going to fall. Do you realize... I'm just pacing because it's really warm today, and I'm just trying to cool off. But do you realize that this is soon to be all destroyed? And I don't need to prove that to you, because I can't. No one can. Whoa, airline. That's a belief that I have. I got to run over here quick. We just had an airline break. Sorry about that. Yep, the hose just got too warm, I guess. I got to tell my dad that I should shut the air off. But I want to make this point. And I just feel like if I try to set up for a live stream, so I just won't get it. Hey, Dad, you're going to run out of air, I think, because the airline, the rubber part, it must be too hot out. It just gave way.
Oh, okay.
Right up on the Corvair there.
Well, I just shut that. You shut the valve up?
I shut the valve, but I figured that you'd be out of air pretty soon.
Well, that just goes...
Or that's a different line.
I
Okay.
got a check valve, so it does...
Okay.
Yeah, they break.
Yeah, they do. I just shut it off, so we're good to go.
So you shut it off outside, right?
Yeah, I shut it off. Yeah.
Oh, we're good then.
So I'm trying to record a video, though.
Oh.
So I'm going to keep doing that quick. Just because I'm 9 minutes in, I don't want to shut it off. So I'll be in a bit. So I don't remember where I was when that happened, when that broke. But, I was saying about this world is very short term at this point. And the reason why I know that's a belief that I have. That's where I was saying. That's a belief that I have. That's something I can't prove to you. It is something that the prophets already saw it happen all throughout time when they were writing the Bible. They were talking about it because they were either shown it or the word of the Lord, the Son of God, came to them and said, write this down, and they wrote it down. He's been warning us about this time that we live in right now. He's been warning the entire world about it since creation, since the beginning of this world. Because it's all, I don't understand how something would be it without time, almost as a picture or something. And you can just, like, Christ can just travel to whatever part of the picture he wants and do whatever he wants. He made it. He did it all with his voice. He said, let there be light, and then there was light. So, like, that's something that we can't comprehend, I don't think. Everything is so physical and material here. And so the same with the deception, same with the spiritual warfare that we're involved in. It isn't the warfare happening in this world. You know, you're not going to see Iran and Israel fighting, and that's going to be, or Jerusalem or something, not on the earth. When Jerusalem's compassed with armies, that's New Jerusalem in the sky, the one that comes down out of heaven from God. That's where the temple of God is. That's where those that overcome, they become a pillar in the temple of that God, or of God. I don't know how that all works, but I do know that if you think that a bunch of people just like you, the same type of creation that you are, is involved in hiding the shape of the earth and deceiving the whole world, then you don't believe the Bible. You don't believe what Paul wrote. You don't believe what Jesus said. You don't believe it. And I know so many of you believe it, but you just don't pay attention to certain aspects of it. We're not struggling against flesh and blood. And so what do I see as a result of people struggling with flesh and blood? It's when they say the word they a lot, and they say the word Freemasons a lot, or Jesuits a lot. And they think that the Bible should read like this in Revelation, that that old serpent, the devil, Satan, deceived almost nearly the whole world. But there was this group of men that he told the truth to. You think that's how Revelation should read? Because I can see that it's already come to pass the way that it reads. Already. It's already happened. We've all been deceived, right? And a lot of you don't think we have, but I see it. We've been deceived, and the solar system is a big part of that. It's almost the whole thing. We don't live in a solar system. You've never seen a solar system. No one's ever observed a solar system. It's just an idea that someone came up with in their head, and now the world believes it. And a lot of it is because of those planets, those 7 stars that didn't obey God. There's fallen angels up there, bound. That's where our battle lies. Those are our enemy. It's not your neighbor that works for SpaceX. It's not your neighbor that works for Rocket Lab and they build rocket engines. They're not. I'll tell you this much. The people that are building rocket engines, they have no idea what they're doing to this world. They have no idea that specific technology was known about by Daniel and by John and by Zechariah and by Isaiah. They knew about that technology because that's the technology of the kings of the earth, the fallen, the spirits of the kings of the Medes, fallen angels, mighty men. We're not in a battle against each other. Your neighbor is the same as you. If you see the truth You don't act as if your neighbor's a liar. You go tell your neighbor the truth, and they can do what they want with it. But that's why we're called to, that's why we've been shown the truth. And again, if you're doubting that, go read John chapter 17. Go read it like 3 or 4 times, because it takes me, like, I have to read it a couple of times every time I read it, because there's so much in there that Jesus is praying for. He said to his Father, he sent people out into the world, and he gave them his word, and they received it, and he sent them out into the world. And he prayed for them, but then he said, but not only for them, but for those who would believe on him because of their words. He sent witnesses into the world, and they're telling the truth in the world. It's just, I don't understand. Okay, if you think space is being faked, you're struggling against flesh and blood. And so you're fighting a battle that doesn't exist. And actually, to be honest, if you're doing that, you're probably jumping on a bandwagon that calls a lot of the people that aren't liars, rather than reaching out to them and saying, there's truth that opposes this thing we believe in, this thing that you're believing. There's truth that shows that's not true. And you share the truth with them. Because I'm just trying to think of an example. Like I love Nathan Thompson, but years ago, and I think I can't like say anything negative about the things that people have done with flat earth and all the stuff that has happened, because when you don't know truth and then you learn about it, it's very hard to know what to do with it, how to handle it. What are you supposed to do? Because it really throws you out of the world. Like, it throws you out of your friends group, and it throws you out of your family, and it throws you all over the place. And you kind of get up after you rolling around, you get up and you're like, where now? What now? Well, in Revelation, those witnesses, they followed the Lamb wherever he went. So when the Word of God, the Son of God, Jesus Christ, when he picture him outside of time, and he's looking at time, all of creation. Well, he picked today to come down and teach us something. He picked yesterday to teach us a different thing. And we're just following it. We're just like, we don't know where we're going. We're just following him wherever he goes. That's what faith is. When if you're a flat earther or whatever, if you don't live on a globe anymore, you tell me how you got there. Was it YouTube? Did YouTube reveal the truth to the world? This is much different than that. We are, if you see the truth, you're one of the most fortunate people that has ever lived, because you get to see it in your lifetime. The prophets were all throughout time, they've been seeking to see it and to understand it and to hear these things and to see these things. They never got to. We get to. And it's right now. So one of these days, and I'm not like trying to make predictions or something like that, but they're going to be launching that starship that, of course, is fake, right? It's going to be real fake until the sky rolls back and darkness consumes this and fire. It's almost. Oh, you heading out? Okay, we'll see ya. It's almost over. It's almost over. And I like, how many years have people been talking about flat Earth? 7 years? 6 years? How long since flat Earth came into the world? So let's say it was 6 years, right? Just for a number. If it was 6 years, I know that in the book of Revelation and in the book of Daniel, a lot of people talk about a 7-year tribulation or whatever. A lot of people talk about, I'm going back in with the AC. A lot of people talk about, well, it says right in Revelation, it talks about 42 months that would be 3.5 years. Okay. It's been almost 7 years. Wow, it is hot out there. It's been almost 7 years. Something like that. I don't know exactly. And, Jesus said immediately after the tribulation of those days, what's tribulation? Remember a second ago I was mentioning how when you stop believing in a globe, you lose all your friends and you lose your family and they actually kind of hate you a lot of the time for the things you say. I'm going to call that tribulation. I'm going to call that a hard time and a hard thing to deal with. And everybody that has gone through that doesn't even have to, we don't have to speak words about it because you know exactly what I'm talking about. Very hard thing. But truth is more important. Like, it reminds me of when Jesus said about loving your mother or father more than him. Well, I love my mother and father. But I told him the truth. Because the truth's more important. So, all I got to say is try to think about this deception that we've become aware of. It's not flesh and blood. It's angels in the sky and evil spirits on the earth, the spirits of the Nephilim giants, the offspring of the fallen angels. They're still here. And they don't have bodies, and they weren't supposed to even be created. That was like a transgression. So we are dealing with a lot of that. And what if unbelief, what I'm saying is when channels talking about flat earth or talking about the deception, and they said the ISS is so fake, nothing can move 17,000 miles an hour, that's just not a real number. Not at the end times. And like the bottomless pit, NASA will tell you it's a bottomless pit. I don't have to. But if you think NASA's lying, if you think SpaceX is faking everything and they're faking the ISS and it's all CGI, you're telling me that you're thinking that your neighbor knows that the earth is flat but has been lying to you for however long they've known that, has been lying to you because they work at NASA and they're involved in the James Webb telescope. No, it's actually not. We're not fighting against your neighbor. Tell your neighbor the truth. If you were sent out into the world with truth, then just say truth. Don't start calling people liars. Because if you are, I'm not talking to semantics or whatever either. Get real. Okay, you're kindergarten teacher, Miss, what was my first grade? My first grade teacher. I don't remember my my kindergarten teacher. My first grade teacher's name was Miss Broman. Miss Broman. I don't remember it, but I'm pretty sure that we talked a lot about geography and about the globe in first grade. She was not lying. She was telling a lie. She was hiding the truth in unrighteousness. But did she know? She was deceived by Satan. She's not lying. She's not a liar. You can say that, oh, anybody that says something untrue is lying. Okay. Get off your arcade game. That's not relevant. The people working at NASA, they're doing the things that they believe they're doing. They're gathering data from their satellites that they believe to be true data. It's coming from a satellite. It's when they get pictures of the rover on Mars. Of course they're real. How could they be fake? They're coming from space. It's the Mars rover sending it back. They believe that. But if there's a Mars rover, everything's coming back in ones and zeros, right? I'm sure a fallen angel couldn't do that. Get real. Our struggle is against the spirits of wickedness that reside in the heavenly realm, which is up in the sky. And that's where our battle is. And if you're fighting an invisible fake battle, it's like I could say this. I'll just end this video because this is going on forever. If you think space is fake, your battle is also fake. You're fighting against an enemy that doesn't exist. And you also are believing that the devil is fake or being faked. Yeah, they're faking the dragon. It's being faked. Even though the prophets all wrote about it, told us about it, told us it'd be flying up there, deceiving mankind. Look up. Ouch. Look up. Look up. Don't say Saddaloons until you look up. Look up at the sky. I just put a video up this morning. It's called Don't You Focus, Brah? Go watch that video. Tell me what I'm filming. Tell me what I'm filming in the sky. That is exactly where Starlink, whatever batch of Starlink that I filmed, I could go to a website or to a tracker, and I could have told you that those were going to show up right when they did in that film. I didn't, but I'm saying I could have known that beforehand because the sky is a clock, and men have defiled it with their little trinkets. They've ascended into the sky and placed their own gods there. It's all in the scriptures. I don't know what to say. I feel so confused about what I'm seeing happen. I'm not confused about what's happening. I'm confused about what I see people doing and believing. And it's like I love all these people that I'm talking about. I don't want them to believe a lie. I don't want them to struggle against their neighbor because they should love their neighbor and they should tell their neighbor the truth. Let your light shine instead of accusing people of lying that aren't even lying. All right. Love you guys.